Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Tonight, we're going to get started. Yolanda's going to be here any minute now. Meantime, just enjoy me. Amen. Greetings, and welcome to Hearts and Hills. I'm your host, Shay Robertson, hanging in. Yolanda's on her way in here tonight. I am so excited to be back in the studio. I have missed you at Hearts and Hills over the past weeks, and I hope you've missed me too. It is going down tonight. We're going to have a great conversation. You should join the conversation because tonight we're just talking about friendship breakups. A lot has been happening over the news. I know you guys have heard about it, but we're going to talk about those things. But tonight we're going to talk about friendships and friendships breaking up. Like we all have been involved and engaged in friendships in different places and spaces, but what's the most important is how we handle the breakups of friendships. Friendships are so valuable to us. I know if you're like me, and I need you to stay with me, go on this journey with me tonight. If you're like me, friends have played an amazing role in your life. They have given you strength. They have been there when other people have left you. When you were sick, when you were frustrated, all of those things. You have had someone to really be a part of your life and be there for you. But what happens when friendships break up? What do you do when things are not looking the way that you want it to look? What happens when there's an issue in the relationship? What happens when you're just at that point, that destiny point where you are going your separate ways and you've separated? I remember hearing a while back this minister preach about the rockets, that when the rockets go in the air, they can only get to a certain point, and at a certain point, then these boosters fall down because they can no longer go with them. You know what happens when your relationship start representing that? Like you thought this person would be with you, you thought this person would hang with you, and you now all of a sudden that relationship is broken. It's no longer there. I'm reminded of the show Friends, and I don't know if you've ever watched it, but when you think about Friends or Living Single, all these shows that are out, and they have these girlfriends, and people are chatting it up and talking, and they're always getting through these problems and this situation. But what happened when you can't get through that? And not just what happens to the relationship, but what happens to you as a person. If some of us look back and think about what we have experienced and the people that we've lost and how it's impacted us, what has it done to our lives? How have we treated our relationships going forward? What kind of lack of trust? What are the things that's happened to us to keep us from moving forward in that direction? So tonight we're just talking about, friendships that are breaking up. Now, one of the reasons that friendships break up because someone has lied. Have you ever had someone to just lie to you over and over and over and over again? Or maybe even just once. They just lied to you one time. They just said something that you knew was wrong, or they told you a story, or they hurt your feelings and they just lied. How did that make you feel? When someone breaks your trust, it is hard to build it back. That's why when people lie, it really severs a place. It severs the trust. It severs the dependency that you had on that person before. So now everything that you thought was truth, everything that you thought was pure, you begin to question. I don't know. Have you ever questioned your relationship once someone has lied to you? And it could be it could be the smallest things, but it's nothing like when you realize in that moment you have been lying to me the entire time. And the worst part is when someone lies to you and you know it's reflective of the type of relationship you have continued to have with them. That you continue to have with them. And Yolanda has walked in the studio. Hey, Yolanda.
Y'all, that traffic is a monster out there.
Yes, it
What
is.
is going on?
It was trying to keep us apart, girl. It will not keep us apart.
We're not gonna let that happen, right?
No. But we just talking about friendships and lying, when people lie to you and how bad and what it severs and what it does to you. And I remember having a friend and it's so crazy because I always knew she was lying constantly, all the time, and I
and,
overlooked it.
and it's kind of like when you say, "Hey, I'm gonna do something," or "I need you to help me," and instead of saying the reason why you can't, you just lie about it. Is it kind of like that situation?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even that. It was just, I went to the store and bought cake, and you never went to the store. Just things like that. But you know how like you catch them in the lie, but you still,
You
why,
still wonder, like,
why,
wait a minute.
why do we stay in those relationships? Why do we could keep those friendships? Like, how do we expect someone that continuously to lies to us? Why do we continue to give them trust and get mad when they break trust?
I think it's because we try to give them a chance, an opportunity. And then sometimes we second guess who we are. And so in that
Mm,
second guessing, like, wait a minute, did I say that? Or she really, did she just lie to me? And I think we just try to give them the benefit of the doubt. So
mm,
a lot of times we just continue a relationship even when we know it's not the most healthy
mhm.
relationship based on that person not being totally committed, because it has to be a commitment thing.
It is, and I'm glad you say that because I think about relationships, and I hope you guys are evaluating yourself as you think about this because it's not about the other people. This just is about you. I've evaluated like some of the things in my life, and I took a lot of things like I've had some broken relationships, of course, but I took a lot of things throughout those friendships that I should have never taken in the first place.
And we do that a lot.
Well,
I mean, it's just because sometimes it depends on the place that they catch us in, the place that they find us in. And sometimes it may be a vulnerable place. And we allow and accept things because our vulnerability. And,
hmm,
and it's just for a season or a moment.
yeah.
But we wake up. And I think the real thing is that when we wake up, we realize, wait a minute, they were dragging me down. Have you ever been around someone that,
Hmm.
like your friend, and you felt overwhelmed or tired after they left your space, drained after they left your space? And so I think it's almost that same feeling, like, why am I around her?
Yeah.
Like, I feel drained.
Yeah, I feel frustrated. Sometimes you feel angry. I mean, you're tired, but you just keep them in your space. So, if someone is lying to you, let me tell you this, ladies. If someone is lying to you, even if it's a small lie, because we love to say, "Oh, it's just a small lie," or they didn't mean anything by it. But if they're lying to you about something small, then 9 out of 10 times they will lie to you about something big. And what I dislike about that is the implications behind everything else, because that probably means that they're talking about you behind your back, because that's a deceptive spirit.
Right. I mean, so what? Give me an example of somebody. Give me a quick example of somebody lying to you. What was a lie? What was it that they
I
said?
mean, just simple that, I I lost 10 pounds. And then when you see
Now, come
them,
on, now you
I'm not kidding.
and
I'm not kidding.
wouldn't
Like,
you just let them lie about that and make them feel good? Just baby, it's okay.
but what I'm saying is it was a pattern. I mean, it was something that
Well,
small from
I
going to the
understand.
store.
I had a friend too, cause I had a friend who was a habitual liar, and so I'm like, why did you lie? Why did you say that? And they didn't. I'm like, wait a minute. I asked you face to face, but I know when
Mm,
I ask
those are the
you
worst ones.
face to face, did you say this? Did you do that? Then
Hmm.
I just walk away. I'm
But the
serious.
fact that you asked, did you say or did you do, lets you know that you really weren't secure in the relationship anyway. It's
Exactly.
amazing how we don't see our own cues. Like,
Exactly.
we really weren't secure. We were not secure in the
Well, and then
relationship.
a lot of it is immaturity on our part,
Yeah,
because
sure.
I'm not the person I was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was not the person I was definitely 20 years ago. So growth, you learn,
Yeah.
you learn as you go. But
Yeah, I mean, that's a person that's lying to you. That definitely will destroy a relationship, and it will cause you not to trust. But I just tell you that even well, what I want to say is, and this is going to sound a little harsh, you knew that that relationship was not right, but you decide to trust anyway. So you can't let people that God wants to place in your life pay for the price that you allow people to stay in.
Right. And so, I mean, and that's a typical, that's one of the reasons
Mhm.
why you move on, because one, when you realize a person is not authentic and genuine,
Yes, I love that
you
authentic.
just move on, and that helps you to grow. And so, and that's another reason why a relationship change. I mean, fall out, break up, because you are growing and that person seems to maybe not be growing in the direction you growing or going in. So that's
And
another thing.
and that's so okay. I wish we would become okay with people growing. I wish we would become, because just because we grow and mature, and that relationship is no longer benefiting us both, doesn't mean that we can't love each other from a distance.
Well, it's not always articulated out, because
Mm.
I can't come to you and we are in a strong relationship, friendship, and all of a sudden I'm doing something different, like going to school or bettering myself, or maybe healthy eating or walking, and that's those are some things that you're not interested in. Therefore, we begin to what, grow apart. And growing apart, you how can I articulate that? Well, I've been walking lately and I'm doing this and I'm eating right. So if I'm you still not hearing it, because guess what? You're shut down and closed, because closed off to that, because you're not doing those things. And you think that you're fine
But
by
aren't we?
not, and that's fine if that's what you want. But then now I'm going with healthier, with different people, different group. I'm going to the gym, I'm walking, and now I'm meeting other people.
But aren't we supposed to be supportive of each other if we're friends?
Yeah, but it's not when I say it's not articulated, it's not comprehended. As if though she thinks she's better than me now, we get that,
I
versus,
know.
oh, she just wants to be healthy.
Y-
So it's like,
I'm rolling my eyes, guys, because I'm so, I guess this is my, as you can tell, I'm just going to be very quiet tonight because I get so frustrated with this. Because if someone is engaged in doing something else, or and it doesn't include you and that's your friend, that doesn't mean that that person no longer loves you or wants to be friends with you. That just means that they're engaged in something else. So you mean to tell me, if we've been a friend for 10, 15, 20, 5, 2, 1 year, and I start doing something else, and I'm not talking to you every day, then there's a problem in our
what
relationship?
I'm
Or I'm not gonna say every day, the normal communication that we have.
I'm not saying that, but what I am saying, if you are doing something different from the norm, taken away from our time in that friend group, and it's not articulated, like you just vanish, you just disappear, then
Hmm.
I'm in my feelings, because why did she just leave the group and I don't know? You follow me?
Hmm.
So it has to be. Let me tell you what's going on. My son went away. My daughter is in school. I'm in school. I'm doing all these things.
Hmm.
So now you know. Now I bring
but
you
but
into the
but
reasons why
But
I'm going to be distant.
what if the person doesn't know you're offended? What if I'm thinking that we're okay? Yeah, I may be doing something different, and I just hadn't told you, but I feel like you're okay. And then all of a sudden, because the spirit of offense is real, we get the spirit of offense, and it start resonating, going through our body, and we separate. But how is someone supposed to know that you're offended if you never tell them that you're offended?
Well, I think that if in my friend circle, and if I'm busy and I have gone away from the group,
Hmm.
then I feel like it's my responsibility to reach out to my group
Hmm.
and say, hey guys, I miss you all, I miss hanging out, but these are the things I'm doing. So I may not be as involved. I may not be,
Hmm.
participating in a lot of events. And I will hope that they would understand that. But I have to it depends on me for me to communicate that out to my friends. So, I don't know if you
Um,
feel in whatever kind of way,
I,
but I'm that type of person will let you know, hey, I didn't leave you. Now some
hmm.
folks I leave. Now, now some folks I leave.
Right,
And some
right beside
folks
the road.
I leave and I never look back
Gotcha.
because you weren't good for me.
Hmm.
and I don't hold on to baggage.
That's a good one. She said she don't hold
And
on to back.
so it's in my best interest to let some things go. Now, whatever happened in life 10, 20 years later, and it circles back around, okay. But I'm the type of person I would leave.
Mm,
I don't do drama. I don't do stress. I just got too much positive things going on. So and I have had some issues when I'm growing and people don't understand that. I have a big
mm,
voice, I have a big personality, and my friends don't always understand that. And it's
mhm,
okay.
mhm,
It's okay that you don't understand.
mhm,
I'll see you later.
mhm.
Not to be ugly, but I got somewhere to go and I ain't got time to always explain and apologize for my growth. Because a lot of times we do that.
See, that's my issue. Is not. I, I'm I'm all on board with communicating the differences and sharing that. But what I'm not on board with is, if I'm growing, then why can't you support me in my growth? Like I don't get that. Like if we're friends, because I guess when I'm looking at friendships, I want somebody that I could trust and someone that trusts me and someone that I can value and that values me. And I feel like we should be, we living for each
It's
other.
okay
We're
though.
riding.
I think it's okay. You said why do they don't support? And I wish that we can get to a place that we don't have to have someone necessarily to support us. It's okay. I have been living for about 10 years in this world of not having as many as people support me. And I started to make adjustments for that. I don't need
But
anybody to really it's great to have supporters. Now don't get me
mhm,
wrong.
mhm, mhm. No,
But
I get what you're saying.
yeah,
And I guess I'm speaking, we got Nat in the studio. I guess I'm speaking from a place of, if we are down with each other, if we have been friends, and I'm continuing on these great exploits, whatever they are, you mean to tell me that we cannot support each other in those exploits? That is where my problem comes. It's not the people that doesn't necessarily owe me anything, but I'm talking about the people that I have been with and I've been loving and you have been loving me. We have supported each other through so many different things. So when I go into this space that propels me to wherever that is, then we can no longer then somehow our relationship breaks up. And I don't know why. A lot of times people talk about jealousy, that jealousy is a part of breaking up relationships. And I wouldn't necessarily relate that to jealousy, but that could definitely be a part of it. I'm just wondering, why is it that in these and I guess maybe we should define what friendships really are, because I don't know if we all have the same definition.
that could be possible that we may not have all the same definition of friendship, but friendship is, for me, it's just being there, being
Mhm.
supportive and understanding, um, and then being able to relate to different issues,
Mhm.
family issues, personal
Mhm.
issues, financial issues, and so friendship um, means to have quality. Um,
Right.
Time and sharing and caring about the same thing and our ideas and so I look at friendships for me it's just really genuine because I give my all. I'm
Showing
a
up.
I'm an all in kind of person,
Yeah.
and so for me to be all in, I expect my friends to be all in because I love hard. I love really
Mm.
hard, and so if I always say this, if I have $5 only in my pocket, that means you have 250.
Yes.
And so
See,
I'm not gonna I don't I don't want you to be behind or anything. So if I
mhm.
ever blow up and get rich, you better
We
stay
going
next to me,
together.
all my friends.
Look,
Cause you
we
know
going
what? Cause you're
together.
gonna be rich too. I'm gonna be that
See?
Oprah to Gail. Like for Gail, I'm gonna make sure you get your money,
See,
you get
that's
your bag.
why that's what I value. I want people to ride or die with me. If I'm neglecting a relationship, I expect for us to be open and honest enough for you to say, I feel neglected. I feel like that you have not been there for me. I feel like you're not valuing me as a friend. Let me know. And I'm one because at that point I can address it. And
Right.
maybe that's me. I like to address things head on. I can address whatever you're feeling, but if you never tell me, and see, that's why
But you can't make people understand. Like, even if when you do address it, Shay,
yeah,
you can't make people understand whatever it is, you know? And I think a lot of times we want to make sure, please don't, like, please don't be jealous. We don't say that word jealous because, that
yes,
strikes somebody's nerves, but we
yes,
say,
because we
please
don't like to say,
understand the place I'm in now. We're moving. It,
yeah,
if you
yeah,
move from a certain area to another area or a certain job or certain
positions or
position,
places, yeah.
people are not going to treat you the same no matter what. And I
Because
don't know why.
it's their perception, it's their
Exactly.
perception of what's happening, and I don't like that, and really we can relate that a little bit to selfishness.
Right.
When we think about friendships, like, have you ever been in a relationship, that a friendship that has separated because of selfishness before?
Oh, yeah, I have. And it's like, they was just self centered. And the sad thing about it is that I had a really good relationship with a close friend. And I think that, so I don't want to say I'm a seer, but I see things. God has just given me a gift.
Hmm.
And I would say, hey, look, watch this person, blah, blah, blah. And it was just that I thought I was looking out. But this person that I thought so highly of, I
Hmm.
love, I would always invite them to different events. They wouldn't show up because they was doing so many other
Other things.
important things.
Hmm.
However, when I was asked to be there to support them, I'm Johnny on the spot. I'm supportive. I'm loving. I'm working. I'm doing whatever I can. I'm, putting in money to make sure every your event goes really well. And I didn't get that in return. And so, and I realized that this individual was just very self-centered.
Hmm.
Sometimes status gets in our head and positions and different levels, and
Hmm.
maybe even our social group changes. And you feel like, I know I'm like old school, make new friends, but
No.
keep the old one is silver, the other one is gold. And
Yeah.
so I'm from that perspective, and that person just began to ignore my feelings, and I don't ask for much. I'm not a
Hmm.
needy person because
Hmm.
I got my own. But if I want your support, that means I
I
need
want
it.
your support. Yeah.
Exactly. And so when I didn't have that support, I was like, the heck with it, you know?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so I was done.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I may be the selfish friend sometimes,
you kind of
to be
you
honest.
kind of be in an island by yourself sometimes.
See,
Shay, you be in the island out on an
so
island.
it's not them selfish, it's just I be in
I
my
think
own little
sometimes you
world.
drift off, and then I'd be like, "Where's Shay?" And then I'd be like
Bring me
calling,
back.
he's like, "Oh, girl." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Shay, where you been?"
I don't know. I think so. I don't think people. I don't think sometimes people have understood that. Like, I sometimes I go into my places, and and
Yeah,
and I don't know.
it's like a shell.
It is, and I don't know. I don't know when I do it. If that
But I
makes
think
sense.
I think for if you know that that's who you are, you have to communicate. Like, hey, look, I'm in a season right now. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna be in and out. I'm gonna be missing in action sometimes. I think that that's a good thing. Now, you probably need to work on that. You
I
need to
have.
write that
I
down.
have done that.
Do
I have
you
I
you
have done that. I
communicated?
have done that, and still I have pulled people to the side and said, look, this is something I'm just going through. It's I don't understand it, but I need to take this time, and I have still lost relationships because of that.
Hey, it's okay because my thing is I got too much going on too, not to be all consumed on she's not talking to me. I ain't heard from her from day.
I'm so
I love, and every now and then
mm,
I understand. We have to be in a place to understand when people are going through themselves, and so just send a text and say thinking of you. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Like that would make me feel good if I'm in a place and I'm isolated and I just withdrew from the group for a minute. Send me a text. Just say, hey, I'm thinking of you. And if you respond, great. If you
If you
don't,
don't,
you
yeah,
know, great. And
yeah,
so, hey, I don't know if I'll be around when you come out your place
mhm,
because you
yeah,
could have at least every now and then sent a text message. And
mhm.
I understand, like, listen, I understand if you have meltdowns. And we can talk about that. This is gonna drive me
Ooh,
crazy.
the net. Go away, Nat.
Let's talk about folks that's having meltdowns because
Yeah.
I'm telling you on everything, people the first thing they say, I have anxiety and mental health. And I'm getting that word is really getting on my nerves. Not to be insensitive, but like I wish you would walk it through and talk it out to me. What is your anxiety like? Because
Oh,
we
yes.
people have meltdowns, and I mean there's various
Mhm.
reasons,
Mhm.
finances, um, relationship that we have meltdowns from.
Yep.
Somebody left you, and now you met your girlfriend because they weren't there when the day that they left, or
Mhm.
you may have had a meltdown because you lost a baby. And I had a really close friend that had lost a baby, and I wasn't there. Um, I was going through something myself, and I was not my most supportive self, but a lot of times I have things that I have to work through myself.
Yeah.
And maybe they didn't know that I may have lost a child, but I never told that person,
Mhm.
and I didn't know how to handle it.
Mhm.
Maybe we have meltdowns when our kids grow, go off to college, and
Yeah.
there are so many reasons why we have
Different phases in
meltdowns.
life. I just, I guess I have this thought and feeling that I want humanity and everybody to love each other and really figure out the way to love and not just so easily give up and not easily throw away, because to me it friendships, you should be worth the conversation. See, that's where I get ticked. I want to be worth the
I
conversation.
like that.
That's all I want in my friendships and my relationship. I want to be worth the conversation. Like if you're mad with me, I want to be worth you telling me why you're mad with me. Or if you're hurt by me, I want to be worth you telling me why you're hurt by me. And sometimes when we're in friendships, we don't we I mean maybe I was never worth it to you. And to me that hurts more than the separation. Oh my God, that hurts more than the separation. Because if we separate, then I could deal with that. But when I feel like I wasn't worth your attention or you come and talk to me,
Yeah,
that I wasn't worth us having this because
I
sometimes
get that.
sometimes it's just an argument. Sometimes it's just I'm feeling this way and you feeling that way, and let's discuss it. But we have to, if someone is having a meltdown and that person's not there for you, again, you may not have been a part of their life when they experienced something. Have the conversation. You weren't there for me. I needed you to be there. And
We are, for those who are joining on, just listening in, this is Yolanda Kelly and Shay, and we're
yes,
talking about friendship.
friendship.
How do we keep, what are some things that break up a good friendship relationship? And I walked in and I heard Shay was talking about, one thing that we we break up as folks lying to us, and we no
Mhm.
longer want to be a part of that relationship. The other thing that we talk about is sometimes we grow apart and we change.
Mhm.
And then I think we were talking about um, being people being jealous. And
Mhm.
another thing we mentioned is meltdown. Sometimes we get in a place, all of us get in a place
Yes.
that we just have a meltdown.
Breakdown.
And there are several different types, ways that people have meltdowns that we
Mhm.
have to become sensitive to, and understand that it's just a moment or a season that that person individual may be going through that meltdown.
Yeah.
Did you talk about anything? Did you say anything else
Well, no, I
before
didn't,
I
but
got here?
no, but I do want to talk about, when you break up with friendships because they're negative. I've done that. Like I've had somebody in my life where they were super overly negative, and everything was so competitive, and just every single thing was just oh, I can't do that. Oh my gosh. And every time you say something, oh, I can't believe you're doing it. It's the sly remarks. That's what I call them, the sly remarks. And everything's so nasty, negative, and nothing. Oh, that irks me. I cannot have negative friends. Like I have enough, and for me, I have enough negative thoughts myself. So I don't need you to be negative too. I need you to tell me, I need you to be truthful and honest, but I don't need negativity every time I mention or say,
But so like I'm just gonna say this. Years ago, I would not have known how to identify this. Um, I tend to stay away from negative people because I'm so,
Hmm.
jolly and just happy all the time. But there are some people that are near me now who I deem to be negative, and they complain about everything, and it's really funny. But I could identify that is more so that something internally is going on with that individual, and I'll pull you to the side and I say, really, what is going on?
Hmm.
And I have that talk.
Hmm.
And I said, you've been complaining a lot. You now negative Nancy.
Yeah.
And I don't I don't really kind of mesh well with people who are negative.
Me either, because you got to see at some point you have to be the positive. Like, so I believe friendships should be given and taken. So when I'm negative, you should be positive. When you
Exactly.
negative, I should be positive because we got to pull each other from these spaces. I believe every friendship should be pushing you or taking you somewhere. My husband ministered this sermon a while back, and it always stuck with me. He asked this question. He was like, will your friends take you to God or take you away from God? And he used the backdrop of the story where the four men, the friend was bedridden, and the church was packed, and they were trying to get the man to get to Jesus.
Man was on the man, and it
Yeah, that
took him to the roof, on
took
top
him
of the
to
roof,
the roof.
because there was a crowd at the house of Peter's house.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but his friends in his negative situation, they said, okay, let us do something because he can't get up and walk, so let us walk for him. I mean, that's what friends
That's
should be built on.
that's
Like,
good.
if I can't walk, let me walk. You should be able to walk for me. When I can't talk, you should be able to talk for me. But if I have to constantly deal with your negativity, and when I get into my negative moments, then you still there, you can't pull me out of my space. What are you really there for?
Right, right. And yeah, we all get into that. I call it a funk, our own little funk.
Oh
We
yeah,
all get into the funk, and
because life happens.
yeah, and we ought to be able to have that person. Who is that person in your life that would kind of, you can call them, will speak positive things
Right.
to kind of talk you off the ledge, to talk you back
Bring you back
to your
on the path.
rightful place,
Yes.
And so, yeah, we lose friends a lot. Like you'll know if you're negative around me because I don't have too much to say to you. And if you anybody who knows me and
Yeah.
knows me well, know that I am not a speechless person. And if I ain't
No, she's
talking,
not.
then something is wrong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think that just, it's okay to be negative. We all have our moments, but let's not live in a state of negativity. Let's come up out of it, because it's really important. Now, another thing that really irks me is and I guess I've been talking about it the entire show.
What?
Coward friends.
Oh, because I'm
Coward,
so bored. Mm.
coward friends. Like, be my ride or die. you know, hang with me. Like, if somebody's talking about me, stick up for me. If someone is um misspeaking about who I am, speak up for me. Don't be a coward. If you can't, like, don't be loving me in the dark and in the and in the light you trying love me in the dark, but in the light, you act like you don't know me. I don't like them kind of friendships. Like, don't do me. Just don't be my friend. Like, I need you to, when I'm not in the room, I need you to speak it. Don't be a coward.
Yeah.
And not just to other people, but to me also.
Right.
Like,
Right.
be willing to have these hard and rough conversations. I guess that's why I like you, because we can have hard, rough conversations, and we do. We have hard,
Yes, we do.
rough, I mean, we do. We have those hard and rough conversations. We say what we got to say, and then we move on.
Yeah. We
Because when it
yeah.
festers, that's when you cause this offense. But
But yeah, right. Because I'm the type of person I have to address the issue straight on, and you just made me think about like a moment.
yeah,
Yeah, because we don't always, and this is so wonderful that we're able to talk about this and laugh.
yeah,
We don't always agree, and we have to work close together. And there are some things I do, and differently from you,
yep.
and we don't always agree, but we know how
Most of the
to
time we don't.
but we know how to talk to each other. And I think one of those things, seriously, Shay, is our love for the Lord. Because
Yeah.
how, again,
I think that's about
to know
mine.
how
Yeah.
to make up and to know, I'm telling you, I had a real bad fallout with someone. A real bad. We've been rolling a while. We were really close. Spending the night at my house, and I mean, real close. And it hurt because that individual acted if though that they did not understand that they offended me. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing about
Mm-hmm.
it that I did like about the conversation, because you said that you needed a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
so we had the conversation that we needed to have, and with the fallout, it wasn't nasty, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't no name calling. It was like we had to agree to disagree, and then I
Mm-hmm.
realized you would never understand the level of hurt that you put me through.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I'm out. I'm out. And then when
Mm-hmm.
I see you,
Yeah.
I still love you because the
Yeah.
word requires me to love, right?
Yeah.
So it's no animosity, but I know what I'm dealing with now.
But why can't we see each other perspective? Why can't I understand that what may hurt you may not hurt me? Because we all, this is what we
That's
all
a good
grow up
point.
so different. We all have these, you don't know my past. Nobody knows as much as you have your best friends, your ride or dies, your parents, your husband, your wives. Nobody really knows all the things that have impacted you in all these different ways. So if something is hurting you, I have to respect the fact that it's hurting you,
Never,
whatever it triggers.
and that's a good point because but I never got an apology from that individual.
Oof.
They gave me the explanation why they did what they did, but they never said I apologize. I didn't mean to hurt you, and I was listening for that, and that never
And that's
happened.
all you, that's
That's
all it
all
would
I
have
wanted.
taken it.
That was,
Yeah.
and I'm the most forgiving person that you know.
Yeah.
I will give you. I'm telling you, you got to push me until I come out fighting. So like when you can offend me over and over, and I'll forgive you over and over and
Hmm.
over. But if you used to do that one extra thing that will push me, then I'm out.
Yeah.
Like so, it's like a point of no return. Once I'm done with you,
You're done.
I'm done. Now I
Hmm.
love, like I said, I love hard, and I
Right.
forgive over and over and over until it's like, you know what? There's no more grace. I have no more grace to give you.
Yeah, like I can love you from a distance. I still want the best for you, but we don't
Exactly.
have to be in each other's face. And I think that's great. But we got to learn to respect each other, y'all. If we're in friendships and relationships, we got to understand that, just because you don't feel a certain way does not mean that my feelings are not validated. And that's the thing, because you never know what it triggers. Like sometimes things happen, things people have done things to me, and it trigger the things that led to rejection, when I felt rejected or abandoned. And see, if you don't understand the depths and the level of my abandonment and rejection, you may feel like, oh, I ain't really do nothing. But
Yeah.
that's how you feel about that
And I
situation.
think that we need to be careful when we do that. We need to
Hmm.
be really careful
Yeah.
because sometimes I have been
Or just apologize.
at fault not understanding someone's rejection. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, girl, that wasn't in.
Hmm.
But shame on me.
Dismissive.
And then, yeah, I was at fault in the relationship. And the relationship was disconnected. I can't remember. It probably was disconnected for a year because I did not understand that this person was rejected and this person was hurt. And I just ignored it because I don't know how to accept that because
Hmm.
I just didn't know.
Because it did not trigger
It
you.
didn't trigger me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so when I think, girl, you ought to be, get over it. It was not that simple. That person, she was actually hurt. She was
Yeah.
hurt. And I feel bad now because I'm mature enough to say, I didn't know how, I didn't know, I did not know how. I didn't know how to love that person. I didn't know
Yeah.
how to support because the way the person was rejected ended up being a place of anger, a
Right.
place. And then that's another thing that we can talk about, how friendships um, are
Hmm.
broken up is because someone is really destroying themselves,
Hmm.
and that person began to really do some things, I would say harmful,
Hmm.
um, acting out. I don't do police officers, y'all. I don't go to jail. I'm not doing none of
I
that.
ain't tough enough.
I'm not gonna break any laws.
Me either.
I'm not the one. I'm not gonna bust nobody's windows out. I ain't gonna cut your tires. I'm not.
You
I'm too
want?
much of a lady for that. No, no,
We're not busting windows out.
no. We're not
Okay.
busting. We gonna leave
Okay.
that to Jasmine. So that's the girl's name.
Yes.
We gonna leave that to her. We ain't busting nobody's windows out.
Okay.
I think the power for me is to walk away. And just because I think that that's my power, that may not be your power.
Yep.
You like, I gotta get them. I ain't
Mhm.
got time. Look, the best way I can get them is make them up.
Oh, girl, you better preach. We could just drop the mic on that one. The best way to get them is your come up. Yeah.
That's the only way I know how to get somebody.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
you know what? If you left me or whatever, the best thing you could have done was to leave me.
Yes. Now watch. Stand on the side and watch.
I'm just, I'm just saying, ladies, we got to
Yeah.
get to a place um, that we can't allow situations and circumstances to break us. To those been around you, those who supported you, those who
Yeah.
care for you, those who love you as girlfriends and sister friends. I got is that the
Sister
new
friends.
sister
Yeah.
friends?
I think I
I
like it.
made that word up just now. And sister friend, it sounded real good too.
Yes.
That we won't leave them in our place. We're there to support and love you. And we are nurturers. And it just comes so natural to us. And so in your broken place, if there is a friendship, a relationship that you found that is worth restoring, hey,
Yep.
reach back out. I
Restore it.
mean, as I'm speaking now as a couple, I can reach back out, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be receptive to me when I reach back out. And so life is too short. It's just too much is going on as it is. And I just wish we would learn to love and understand from their perspective. We
Yeah.
don't always have to understand from our perspective, but just have the mindset to say, I don't always understand you, but I respect what you did.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
respect your decision, and I still love you, and I'm here. That's a big woman. That's a big
Mhm.
person.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know.
I think that's we have to get to that place where we can respect someone when they come and apologize. I've done it on several occasions when God has led me to this place of healing and deliverance for myself and own self reflection. I've gone back to relationships and I've talked to people and said, hey, listen, this is my part that I played in this. I want to apologize for this. I'm not looking for their apology. I'm not looking for their acceptance. It is because I know that I have done something that I needed to erase the offense for them. So I think as we consider the relationships and friendships that we've gone through, that we have dealt with and that are broken, that we reconsider, what we did to other people. Because contrary to our popular belief, we have hurt someone just like someone has hurt us.
Exactly.
Like we have caused some pain for someone. We have made someone feel inadequate. We have made someone feel unloved. Yes, you have done that. You have made someone think differently or change their perspective. You have hurt someone to their core. You have destroyed someone's trust. You have invalidated somebody. You have made someone feel like they're unloved or unworthy. Yes, you have. We all have done it. Everything that you have ever felt in life, you have done it to someone else at some point in life, because that is naturally who we are. We hurt people, sometimes we don't even realize it. But the value of a true woman, a true man, is that you're able to pick yourself up and go and apologize. Or the value of it is that you're able to forgive someone even when they don't offer you the apology. So separation doesn't always have to be this bad thing. We have to learn how to separate and grow forward in our relationships. But friendships are important and they're valuable. But when they break up, we can't let it destroy us or let it destroy them.
And sometimes people do crazy stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Like I know I had one friend. Oh my gosh, and this is a male friend, okay? I had one friend that would be playing both sides. Like in this group,
Yeah.
you know, I'm cool, he's talking, good things. But then behind my back, without me being around in a group with other people is like negative. And, he was like, I lost a lot of respect for him because we were really close.
Hmm.
And that hurt me in the process. Like, he'll tell this group, well, she's cool, she's this, she's that, but whatever. And then, talk negative or allow them to say negative things. And when I found out, I think for me, that hurt me the most. Because if
Hmm.
you're going to be true to me, be true. Because I'm, like I said, and I stick by this, I am, and anybody can find this about me, I am 100% all in. When
Yeah,
we call ourselves friends,
we're
you call
friends.
me, it doesn't matter what time of the day or night you call me, I am there. I will be there for you.
Yeah.
And for you to treat me or say anything, just come to my face and say, don't share stuff with a group, especially if I've been intimate and share things with you. Don't go back outside and share with,
You know what? You bring up a valuable
oh,
point that we are breaking the trust of someone that would tear a friendship apart when you break that person's trust, when you're sharing those intimate conversations, when you're telling secrets. And I've always, and you guys have heard this saying, your best friend is somebody else's best friend. Have you?
exactly. Yes. Because I mean, that means that means that person is gonna go
Talking to
share
somebody else,
to
yeah.
somebody else. But this person hurt me so badly to like, I mean, like I was like, and I'm telling y'all, okay, I'm a lover. I don't like to fight, but I was to the point I wanted to bust him in the mouth. Sorry, I had to say it. I said it, but
Oh,
and when I say that, that means I was at the heightened, the
yeah.
pivotal
You
of
were
my
there.
anger.
You
Like
were there.
you have put me to the highest peak because that is not in my nature, and I would
Hmm.
never think to do harm to anybody. I'm just not like that. But that hurt so bad
Yeah.
that they were like all in my face, and I shared intimate things about my children, and they went and told somebody else, and I was like, I'm done.
Oh
You
wow.
hurt me. I'm done. I don't. That's it. And so now, if I tell you anything, it's gonna be a lie to see how fast it get back. And I'd be
Mm-mm.
like 5, 4. No, say for instance, if I tell you something on a Monday to this individual now, I
Hmm.
know it's gonna get out on a Wednesday.
So you around here testing people.
My thing is, hey, you gotta be
Try
wise.
the spirit by the spirit.
Exactly. Exactly.
Try the spirit by the spirit. Now, I missed y'all. I'm so glad to be back tonight. It's been a long time.
Shay,
You've held it down, though, sister. You've held
yes,
it
I'm
down.
glad for you to be back too.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Not only that, I'm glad that we can hopefully be able to go out into the community. Let's do some fun stuff.
Yes, be on the lookout. We got some community things coming up. We want you guys to come share with us on a couple of events that we have coming forth in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned, keep listening because it's going down. We're gonna be out here working out. We got a boutique that we're gonna partner with. So all this information will be coming forth. So make sure you stay tuned with Hearts and Heels. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are on WVAS with Yolanda and Shay. We have been discussing about friendships and everything with breakups and how to heal and all these great things. We have talked about everything from abusing trust, from breaking trust to growing apart, being jealous, lying to each other, having meltdowns, being a coward, being too self absorbed. We have talked about all of those things. But I think this is one really important one that as we close our last 2 minutes of the show, woo,
That's 2 minutes. That's
10,
all.
10, 10 minutes. As we close out, I think this is a really important one that we can really land on is that sometimes the relationship was just not meant to work out. Like friendships that we have, because I'm a believer, and this is gonna some of y'all are gonna be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe she's a believer and Christian and she's saying this." But I believe, just like in marriages, sometimes we yoke ourselves to people that God has not ordained for us to be yoked to. That we can do the same things with friendships. That we can yoke ourselves, we can attach ourselves because that person feels a void in your life, and when they do that, then they become part of your life, but it becomes toxic and you can't let it go. And then when it ends for whatever reason, then you're hurt and you're broken. But really, in all honesty, you knew that relationship wasn't worth was it for you in the first place.
Well, I think sometimes it's like it may not necessarily feel a void, but like I genuinely saw potential in this particular individual that I was friends with.
Potential friends. That's what you were out here creating.
Well, so and it was good for that moment, but when you start doing real crazy stuff, like one thing you can never do to me,
Hmm.
you could never curse me. You can't never do that. And
Ooh.
that is like, so I let you do it like one, maybe one, two times. But if you do it too many, like if you do it more than twice, and I call you out on it, that's something we don't do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like you cannot call me a name and you can't use profanity talking
Mhm.
to me.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
like a forbidding thing that you should ever do to me.
Mhm.
And so this individual was doing that to me. I was like, hold on. Do I talk to you, speak to you in a harsh way? Do I, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
So, and that continued. So, honestly, we didn't have anything in common. And so this person actually yoked herself, maybe I should say yoke herself to me, like really was trying to be my friend. And I realized
But you
that
let her
I did. I allowed, and I'm so
call you
crazy.
out. Look.
I almost think, you know what I think sometimes? I think that some people are like, I shouldn't say this, like maybe a project that I see that you have potential, and then if you like, you want to hang out with me, I'm cool. But then when I see that you gravitating a lot to what I have, then
Mhm.
that's the problem. And sometimes I miss the mark.
I still think it's filling the void. You know what
You
I
think
think?
so? You might be right.
So it's the void. It's whatever that need is that you have to help people.
Yeah, I
So
get.
if they fall in line with that, it can become tricky because even in ministry, it's really hard to separate these relationships that people want to be
Right,
attached to you and they want to pull on you. So you have to be really careful that whatever that innate thing is, I know some of us. So spiritually, what God has given you to connect with people s- sometimes that's meant to just heal them, not to connect with
that's a
them.
good point, Shay.
And
Minister,
so, and
you
so,
on it now?
and so, I think sometimes we allow that thing that we have to connect us and yoke us with people, or because we feel this need to be that support to help them through the situation, to they don't have anybody, or I really like she's funny, and although I know I need to be this for them, she's still funny, girl, so I
Right.
like her company, or she keeps my mind off these things. But we don't understand that at the whole time they're pulling on us, they're taking from us, they're destroying us in a way that we don't even realize because they're broken. And we were meant only to minister to them, not to friend them.
That's a good point. Like you have really made me rethink this thing, and everything you said is so powerful because a lot of times you're right, that I've been in relationships with people that was only meant for me to minister to them. I could see their brokenness, I could see the hurt, and then I end up just staying the course because I felt that it was something more. But in all honesty,
It
it was
wasn't,
not.
because the anointing is so powerful. So when I say anointing, I'm talking about the Holy Spirit. I'm talking about the charisma.
Hmm.
When someone has charisma, that means that they're likable. That means that they're trustworthy. That means that you feel like you can get something from them. When it's just like Barack Obama, he has this charisma, right? So the anointing is very similar to charisma. The reason why people want to be around Barack Obama is because he's charismatic, because he can, he could talk and the way he moves and all these things. So you want to be around him. Well, the anointed carries the same thing. So when you step into the room, as people see that, oh, there's this anointing, and when I'm around her, I feel this, or God, or oh my God, she saw into my soul, or oh my God, she understands me so well. So I want to attach to this thing, and because they attach to you, then you allow the attachment to stay, and then it just draws you to this place. And again, it was never meant to be a lasting relationship anyway. And I think I'm a firm believer in this place in my life, that every relationship that's ended was purposeful. That I may have created those situations for them to end, or that person may have created the situation for the situation for that relationship to end. But either way, God's perfect will for our lives. There are going to be times where we are separated, and there are going to be times when we're together. When Jesus was walking the earth, he had his homies, but then there was a time that he had to be separated from.
Really, he had his
He
homies.
had his homies, and
Yeah,
then there was a time that they could no longer go any further with them, no matter how long he walked with them. He slept with them, he ate with them,
yeah,
and he healed with them, you
yeah.
know.
And that was, I mean, and you bring up a good point, but we have to just remember that sometimes that people that we're holding on to, especially if they're
Hmm.
not bringing you life,
Yes,
if
check
they're
it.
not bringing you growth, something that you can hold on to. I tell my children this all the time. You know, you got to check your sources, check your surroundings. If no one is bringing you up and they only bring you down, that's not a friend. The one that say, let's do this, let's,
Yeah.
go here and drive real fast. That's not a friend. And so I need a friend circle that's going to bring me from this level to a higher level.
Mhm.
And God always sends somebody by. Let me just say this too, and that doesn't mean that they're everlasting. There may be distance and a connection that could pull you out of that dry place or that lonely
Mhm.
place
Mhm.
and to pull you out. I had somebody to come by a couple years ago and we reconnected. It was crazy. And just a good person to talk to and got me motivated mentally and pulled me out of that place. Like, there's no
Mhm.
glass ceiling. You can soar as high as you want to soar. So I think we can end on that, Shay,
Yeah, yeah.
that, so just be careful that friends are someone good to have. And if that relationship you deem necessary
Yeah.
that you need to reconnect, reach back out, send a text. If they don't respond, it's okay. But
Mhm.
before I close, I wanna say this. What, Shay?
No, wait for it. Go ahead, preacher.
No, Shay.
Mhm.
I just think I'm thankful that we're so different, but yet
Mhm.
similar in spirit. When we talk about that word, we just on a whole new level.
Girl, yes.
But
Mhm.
yet we're able to have great conversations. And then when I'm down, you can hear it. And
Mhm.
likewise, when you down, I can hear it. And that we know how to pray for each other's strength. So thank you.
Oh, thank you too, girl. Get her hug. I mean, you gotta have your sisters in life, and that's what it's all about.
She drives me crazy.
I do, but that's why she loves me, because I drive her crazy. But I keep it real.
Mhm.
It's one thing about me. We're gonna always keep it real, and that's the power of friendship, and that's the power of love. That you should be able to be real, honest, and open with everyone around you. So, guys, I tell you what, if relationships, if you have had some friendships to tear apart, to break apart, trust God in the process. Know that He is going to take you into those spaces, and know that God is going to do some amazing work in your life. Never give up. Be open to the next thing. And know that, pray for those people that have despitefully misused you. Pray for people that you feel like have hurt you. Pray for people that you have hurt, and know that God is going to do some amazing work in your life. I love you guys, and I'm
We
excited to be
love you.
back.
Listen, I'm so glad that Shay is back in the studio. We're gonna have fun next week.
Yes.
Um, but before we leave, I just want to say this: whatever you do it with all your heart. And if you
Yes.
can't put your heart in it, put your heel on it.
Yes.
You got it.
Yes. Oh, okay. Amen.
And walk away.
And walk away. See you next week.
Thank you. Thank y'all for joining. Love you.